All right, boys and girls, welcome to art class with me, Mrs. Nicholas. We're going to take some time to go through the rules and then some procedures here in the art room. Let's get started. First thing, we have the art room rules. And if you take a look down the left-hand side, you can see I'm spelling out the word artists. All right, first one is attitude is a choice. Be positive. I know everybody has some good days and sometimes some bad days, but I want you to do your best to come into the classroom with a positive attitude every day. It's going to make my job and your job as a student a whole lot easier. Next is respect. That's yourself, others, and property. You might recognize those as the keys to the castle, and just like everywhere else in the school, we want to follow those here in the art room as well. Next is touch only my own work. Keep hands to self. So not only do you not want to touch anyone else's artwork, you want to make sure you keep your hands, arms, bodies, everything to yourself here in class. Imagine, be creative. You're going to need your imagination here in the art room for your projects. Stay seated in your assigned seat. Notice when you came into the classroom, the first thing that I did is I gave you each your assigned seats. Your seats are very important, and I'm going to talk more about that here in just a second. Talk quietly when allowed. We do not want to talk as much as we want whenever we want here in class because you guys have a lot of work to do. And to be able to get that work accomplished, you need quiet time to focus here in class. And last one is safely used materials. Safety is super important, so you want to make sure you're paying attention to what you're doing with what materials you're using at all times. Okay, next is your art grades. So you will be graded not based on how good of an artist you are. That's often a lot of times a student's fear. They say, I'm not a very good artist. Well, first of all, you probably are an amazing artist, but you don't have to worry about being graded on your talent. You're graded more on your effort and your participation. And just like all of our other specials here at Hillcrest, you will be receiving O, S, or U grades. And you can see what each one of those stands for there on the slide. Some other helpful tips for the classroom is you always want to raise your hand, but notice I wrote raise your hand from your seat. So that is super important. If you get up out of your seat and come ask me a question, I will actually tell you to go to your seat and raise your hand and re-ask that question. So I'll tell you what, to save you some time, you just want to raise your hand and ask that question from your seat in the first place, okay? I know sometimes it takes a little bit of practice to get used to that, but don't worry, I'll remind you, okay? Imagine if everybody had a question and that you all got up and came up to me just to ask me a question, it would just be chaos. So that one's like really important. And next is to wait patiently for my help. So once you're sitting in your seat with your hand raised, you got to wait for me patiently because, you're not the only one here in the class and I'm just one teacher to help everybody. So please be patient while you're waiting for me. Also, I love manners, things like please, thank you, you're welcome, excuse me. And I don't just mean when you're talking to me, I also mean that when you're talking to each other. I love to hear students using those manners when they're talking to anyone. And then last up here is everyone helps to clean up. This is very important because we will definitely be making many big messes throughout the school year. And you have to help each other clean up because we all have places to go. And, you're supposed to be kind of like a team, right? Your classmates are like your teammates. You're going to be with each other all year. And class will go a lot more smoothly if everyone helps each other to clean up. All right, so if you need to go somewhere, this is the same in this class as it is in every other classroom here in the building. First, you need to ask me, excuse me, Mrs. Nicholas, I need to use the bathroom. Okay, great. Once you talk to me about that, then you're going to scan the QR code and notice around the room. I want you to look around the room right now and I want you to find there are QR codes hanging up all around the classroom. You're going to scan that QR code with your iPad and then you're going to fill out the Google form and put in there where you're going, and then it asks you what classroom you're in. And notice I have written on that paper that you are in art room 126. So you don't have to ask what the room number is because it's already right up there for you, okay? And then, when you come back, you're going to sign back in the same way, okay? All All right, let's go on a little tour of the classroom. Now, I am in person going to be pointing these things out to you guys while I am also talking about them on the video at the same time. I love doing videos like this because it allows me to be in two places at the same exact time. Pretty cool, right? Okay, so first thing is this supply shelf that's right here, right when you walk into the classroom. This is a shelf full of supplies that you may go up and grab anytime you need one of these supplies. So for example, we have pencils up here. Now, I ask that you guys bring your own pencils to class, every single class, but let's say a class you forget to bring a pencil. No problem. I have pencils right here for you. So you don't even need to ask me. You, at any time during class, if you need one, just get up, come up here, grab yourself a pencil, and then you also want to make sure you return them as well. Tissues are also up here. Freeze draw paper is here. And then on the very bottom, there are some little handheld brooms and dustpans. So if you make a really big mess that you need to clean up, you can just grab one of these and clean up that mess, okay? And then also right here is the hallway where you guys came in, and then where you're going to be lining up to leave class today and every other day, right? All right, and then as we keep walking around, oh, something I didn't put in here is this red door. This red door, just so you guys know, because I get asked every single year, every class, this is the door to the elevator supply closet, okay? I don't have a key, it's locked. And yes, there is an elevator here at Hillcrest, and this is the machine that runs the elevator. So we don't need to go in there. It's locked, just so you know. Here's the mystery solved for you. That's what's behind this door, okay? Okay. Next up are all of these drawers and cupboards all around my room, and I want you to notice on the board that I put 3 X's by it because you're not allowed to go in any of the drawers or closets or cupboards around the classroom unless I tell you specifically that you can. And usually when I want you to go in one, I put a sign on it. Like for this one, for example, I have a big sign on it that says rulers. And so you may go into the ruler drawer anytime you need a ruler. You don't have to ask, okay? But all the other ones that are unmarked, those ones you may not go into. Okay, back here in the corner is the supply closet. You may not enter the supply closet. Notice that there are X's by that one as well. And then by the supply closet are the cubbies. This is where the stuff for your class will be kept at all times. And I am going to point out right now where your class cubby is. It's important that you know where it is because if I ask you to pass things out, you have to know where to get them from. And then also at the end of class, where to put them back. So your class's stuff is... All right, so now you know where your class's cubby is. Don't forget that, okay? All right, so as we continue around the room, we have 2 really big, awesome sinks here in the back of the classroom. There are 2 paper towel dispensers, 1 by each sink. Notice that there are also 2 massive garbage cans. So make sure if you have garbage that you put it in the garbage can. Don't leave it anywhere else but in the garbage can. And then back in this corner is the drying rack. You might also notice over on a table there is a machine. That's our laser cutter. And then back up at the front is my teacher desk up front there. And then back beside that is the board where this presentation is being played. Okay? All right, so that's the tour of the room. And then a little bit about me. I have 3 dogs. Max is the chocolate lab. Walker is my yellow lab. And then I also have a golden retriever named Bear. I have a little girl named Lexi. You can see a picture of her there. I love to make jewelry, mostly earrings, in my free time. And I also love to go boating and wake surfing behind the boat. Super fun. All right, do we have any questions?